Alright guys, take a look at this. US FDIC scraps planned meeting on special assessment for bank failures. This was November 16th, 2023, so extremely recent, and I found some very odd correlation because the FDIC was supposed to have a meeting for these bank failures, and that meeting was supposed to be public. And then they called it off and said, you know what, this meeting is actually going to be private. And when asked to comment as to why they changed this, they said, listen, we're declining all comments. We're not going to say why. Now, we have a ton of stuff to cover with AMC, like a ton of stuff to cover. I'm going to try to give you all the information as straightforward as possible, and it's very odd, some of it, and it may not sit well with you. However, we are uncovering the truth, doing our due diligence, and all I ask in return is for you guys to please hit the like button, get this video to 500 likes, and maybe I will cover more of your tickers. Yesterday, you guys did it, and I covered a few tickers last night. So without further ado, let's get into it. The FDIC canceled that meeting. They didn't say why. Next up, FICC is pleased to announce that effective November 24th, the following firms will be added as a sponsored member of the Government Securities Division. We saw this with Citadel Securities, but JP Morgan LLC. Okay, so you have the largest bank now becoming a sponsored member of the Government Securities Division. Remember, we just saw that Jim Chanos hedge fund shut down, billions of dollars worth, but there are a few things we missed, right? Chanos expects to return most of his investors' cash by December 31st, and he's not just closing up shop, going home, and disappearing off the face of the earth. He is just converting his hedge fund into a family office. Family offices are notoriously known for a lack of transparency. Have you ever seen The Wolf of Wall Street? This is a prime example of that. Fairy dust. Now take a look at this. Key features of a smart derivative contract. Quote, potential settlement amounts get pre-funded. Here is why you see the runs in crypto before a major run of stocks. They are pre-funding their derivative contracts. You saw this happen with AMC in June of 2021, along with other stocks. Now this may be why the SEC wants to regulate crypto, and we're going to touch a little bit on that at the end of the video, so that they can keep the exact loophole around and keep all the control for the hedge funds and the banks. These are basically American style options which can be used as locates. SEC may be trying to close this, but Congress has been challenging it, trying to make it a commodity for their donors' sake. Latest legislation says options can't be used as locates. Now, options can't be used as locates, but you know what can? Tokens, which Bitpanda has been in talks over the past couple of weeks as the new FTX issuing AMC tokens backed 1-to-1, yada yada yada. Probably, right? Probably. And since we're on the topic of banks, I just wanted to bring it up that Silicon Valley Bank paid in full to Bitpanda, company name Bitpanda, January 11th, 2022. This is old, but major banks have ties to Bitpanda as well. And finally, FTD data. What is happening? The FTD data for the first half of October is apparently released, okay? Apparently released. And let's compare these numbers really quick. Take a look at how insanely high the numbers are on AMC failed to delivers, especially throughout September. Astronomically high. And then that space we're missing from the 29th to October 15th, this is the data we get. 31,000, 4,000, 20,000, 60,000, 4,000, 11,000, 225,000, 100, 436. I mean, like, wipe your head, right? This is what I'm talking about. You had in the beginning of the video, the FDIC say, listen, we got to make this private. Then you see correlations with major banks, Bitpanda. Then you see the largest bank having ties, joining the Government Securities Division, right? Jim Chanos, short AMC, converting into a family office that lacks extreme transparency and assumes to return investors' capital by December 31st, right? End of the year, whatever. It's all fucked, right? The entire system is all looped. It's all tied together. And this FTD data, I'm going to say it right now, in my opinion, right, because that's probably what you're waiting for, is not right. These are not the numbers, okay? These are not the FTDs that AMC actually had that probably astronomically high and they can't be shown to us. And the SEC said, listen, we're going to throw them a bone because they are freaking out, bugging about this, right? It's the same thing when apparently, right? Same thing when we were on the threshold securities list for 38 days and Adam Aaron said, hey, I called the NYSE and they said everything looks fine, and then it came off the threshold securities list. It's a bunch of bullshit. I'm not happy about it. I'm really not happy about it. And just like Dario said on Twitter, why do I have the hunch that this hiding of FTD data has something to do with a big institution going naked short in a desperate need for cash to stay afloat, and now that the market rallied big time, they have no means to buy back and deliver those stocks. Hedge funds aren't doing well, and it's a fact. Here's the newest news. Blackstone to shut multi-strategy fund after assets fall 90%. Another one bites the dust. Let's see if Blackstone is going to get saved now, right? And the last thing before we touch on AMC's chart, Wells Fargo, the parent, has total credit exposure that equals 30% of their ability to remain well capitalized, making matters worse. Wells Fargo Securities, the subsidiary, also has securities sold not yet purchased more than they value of the entire Wells Fargo business. 18.8 billion in securities sold not yet purchased. Okay, Wells Fargo, toast. Blackstone, toast. Jim Channel's hedge fund, toast. Citadel, every single fund out there, every single major bank dying of losses. They are pulling free money from the markets, and the SEC is allowing it to happen. All right, now we're about to get into AMC's chart. Just a quick touch. AMC stock has a 109% upside potential according to this Wall Street analyst B. Riley. Okay, B. Riley is giving AMC a $15 price target. It's nothing to note, but it is on Reddit. People are talking about it on Twitter. Who cares? It's a $15 price target, and B. Riley stock just tanked anyway, so who really cares about what this analyst says? Next up, what did we say in yesterday's video? I said, hey, AMC is about to hit an all-time low, and I got a few real annoying people in the comments that are like, oh, this guy's a shill. Oh, he was just saying AMC's gonna pop. Listen, I track the cycles. I track where AMC goes. I can't, pull catalysts out of my ass and tell you what's about to happen. But what I can tell you is that this cycle, if it finishes, right? If it finishes, it's going to bring AMC down to what? $2.58, which is technically 25 cents before the reverse split or something like that, right? If it goes through another cycle, when this one's done, it's going to delisting. And the reason I'm saying that is because we track the cycles and we track the point of interest. Every time a cycle plays out and it hits the point of interest, it has a chance to squeeze. This is going to be the last chance to squeeze, because if a stock goes to zero, it's going to get delisted, and if it doesn't, then it's going to squeeze, right? The only other scenario is if it hits the point of interest and barcodes for a lifetime, right? I don't know what to say. That's what I got to say here. AMC is hitting a new all-time low right now. I do still hold all my shares. I do still have faith in a squeeze, but it is going to continue to go lower. It is getting flushed out right now. It broke below support levels. There is no support now, and we are just waiting for it to catch. So be very, very careful if you are playing calls, which is going to bring me into the next thing, calls, right? Calls. You're giving all of this premium to market makers, 80,000 calls expiring out of the money this week, and there's going to be more by the end of the week because it is only Tuesday, right? Short exempt still in the 100,000s, not much volume, 2.6 million shares available to borrow. GameStop trading at $12.34, down 3.6% on the day. Testing this support once again. Get ready for a break lower, coming down to $10.10. I do still hold my puts, and then potentially $3.75 for the flush down. GameStop is getting a reverse squeeze. The start right here, we talked about it yesterday. From back in January when it ripped to $500 in 2021. It's doing the same exact pattern, but flipped, mirrored, right? It's getting a flush to the downside. It's going to squeeze down. It's going to gamma squeeze down and touch very low levels before potentially having that nasty rip higher, right? Because what happened after the squeeze? It came down. So if it comes down, it's going to go up. In my opinion, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, of course, and I can't tell you what's going to happen. 100,000 shares available to borrow on GameStop. Calls, nothing. Puts 4,000 in the money. 26,000 calls out of the money. More premium to market makers. Short exempts also low because the volume is low. And before we touch on the overall market and the Tesla trade as well as crypto, get in the Discord. What are you guys doing if you're not in the Discord? And what are you doing, especially if you're not subscribed to the channel? That's pretty weird. But the Discord is probably the best Discord you can find on YouTube, as well as the cheapest with the best vibes. So get in there. We post gains, post losses, talk stocks all day long. And we have options trading alerts. You can come in the Discord, talk with me, request videos, and there is no bad questions that I'm sure somebody will answer. Whether you're a beginner or advanced trader, this is a place to go, and the link is just a click away in the top of the description or pinned in the top comments alongside the Moomoo link where you can earn 5.1% APY on uninvested cash, as well as 16 free stocks, each valued up to $2,000 per stock. By just signing up, using my link, and making a deposit of any amount, you will start earning benefits slowly. The more you deposit, the more benefits you get. That link is in the top of the description and pinned in the top of comments as well, guys. Go do that. It takes 2 minutes out of your day. Do it before November is over, because they are having these solid offers, and when they go away, you're going to be real sad. Remember when Moomoo was giving those crazy ass offers? Yeah, I didn't invest, and I didn't tell my mom, dad, or grandma, or grandpa, or brother, or sister to invest, and they kind of got screwed out of free money. The holidays are coming up. Get your family to use the link and do it to get free money for Christmas gifts. S&P 500, 452.60. Finally, we're seeing some red, right? Down 0.37% on the day. We dipped our toenail, right? Dipped our toenail in the $450 range that I said, hey, we're going to touch 455 or go up to 460 before getting a retracement. And I'm not saying this is a retracement right now. However, we are seeing that slight weakness, okay? The slight spring action, the slight concentration. We kind of saw sort of the same thing right here, November 9th, November 8th and 9th, that slight pullback. Just watch for that, right? Maybe a touch on 450. 451 or 449 even to flush out and tap this trend line, this very aggressive ascending trend line, and then come back up, double top at 460 before retracing. Now, we were talking about it in the Discord yesterday. It's safer to play the SPY after a retracement than trying to time a retracement, because playing against the trend is a very dangerous game when playing options. So just keep that in mind, that it would be safer to watch the retracement if it does happen and then get back in calls, because overall we are in a bullish market and that is the trend it's going in. Tesla up 2.4%. The contracts we entered are up about 16-17% right now. Tesla's trading at 241.29. The trade so far is going good, but Tesla is hitting resistance right here, testing this once again. Watch for a double top potentially for a retracement back down to 221 on Tesla. We need to see more momentum. We need to see a little bit more volume to get that push, essentially get that breakout. Now, this is the last cycle that we're tracking overlaid over Tesla right now. So it's pretty similar, right? Pretty similar, but it shows we may have, slight retracement, come down and trade in the middle of this range, right? Middle of this range instead of breaking above it. So even if Tesla broke out right here, I think it would get a rejection very, very soon, probably around 253.75. Overall, it's a longer term play over the next month, 2 month, 3 month, 4 month, 5 months. It's not more so this week and next week, right? Overall, Tesla trade looking solid. And what's happening with crypto? US seeks $4 billion from Binance to end criminal investigation against it. The SEC just sued Kraken for running an unregistered exchange, and the DOJ sees millions in Tether tied to crypto scammers. And finally, the DOJ will announce a major cryptocurrency action at 3 p.m. today. That is what I got for you guys for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching or found value out of the video. Make sure to hit the like button on your way out. Check the links, get in Discord. I love you all. Lottery Socks out.